Hello everyone, good afternoon. I am Singh Dhania, lecturer, Department of Mechanical Engineering, IIMT College of Polytechnic, Greater Noida. Today we will learn about robotics, and this uh, presentation will learn about introduction to robotics. So what is robotics? Actually, robotics is the combination of engineering, science, and technology that produce a machine called robot. So it is a combination of engineering and science and technology. Robotics is a domain where people work with the development and use of robot. It is by the robot the work has been done in the industries. It is the most used as an alternative of human being in various work. Actually, the robot could replace the human being in the working environment. In place of humans, the robot could work. Robotics mainly deals with the design, construction, and operation of robot. But robotics is a branch which deal about the construction and operation of a robot and the computer system for their control, feedback, and information processing. Mainly, the robotics is deals with construction of robots and their control, feedback, and information processing. It is it is a machine that is programmed to perform the given task and gather information from its surroundings. It works from a central microprocessor. Actually, robot consists a central microprocessor that help to control the movement, and they have sensor to sense the environment. There are two things in the robot. One is microprocessor and one is sensor. The sensor sense and the microprocessor control their movement. Accordingly, the sensor what things has to be sensed. The question is why robotics? The main purpose of robotics is to automate operations that humans do and replace them with machines that can do the work with a better accuracy. There are two requirements of of the automation. We get the higher accuracy in the product. We get the high production, high accuracy. So, uh, so that's why we use the robots in the industry. As we know, robot is fully automated. It can process the dangerous and dangerous jobs from human with high productivity. While a human be able to do a piece of work at some speed, we can definitely design a robot do the same piece of work better, faster, economical, and environmental friendly. Brief history of robotics. If we go about the history of robotics in the 1500th century, Leonardo da Vinci created many human-inspired robots like sketches, design, and models. In 1500th centuries, the design of the robot have been created by the Leonardo da Vinci. So which is shown in this figure, it is like that. It is only a sketch, which is not a robot. It's a sketch of a robot that what किस तरह से ये दिख सकता था. The word first appeared in the print of 1920. In 1500, the sketch word came. In the 1920, the word robot was used by the RUR, Rossum's Universal Robots, by the Karl Kapek, Czechoslovakian playwright. Robota is a वर्कर और सर्फ वर्कर्स के लिए हमने इस रोबोट्स को यूज किया. सो द वर्ड फर्स्ट वाज द वर्ड इट इज प्रिंट इन 1920 RUR. Robot history timeline 1950 to 1970. We talk about in the 1950, the, the nuclear industry was a major impetus for robot development. So in 1950, the robot usually was used in the nuclear industry. Teleoperated arms were used to work with dangerous nuclear materials. As the time gone, in 1960, mobile means the robot can move. The space race led to the rise of artificial intelligence. NASA introduced mobile robots. The first mobile robots was introduced by the NASA that could explore planets and gather data. Again, in 1970, the Seike first AI robot to sense objects and veer around them. In 1970, the AI robots were came. So in 1950, the robot usually used in the nuclear industry. In 1960, mobile robots were came. In 1970, the AI-based robot introduced. Again in 1980, Sakra robot have come. Iskara fast robotic arms for commercial assembly. In the commercial assemblies, Iskara robots were used. In 1970, in 1990, Mars rovers. Sojourner, the first rover to explore Mars in September 1997. So, this Mars rover will came in 2000. Romeo, the first commercialized AI robot, a vacuum cleaner, it came in 2010. Drones, in the 2010 drones were first used in WWIIS moving practice targets. Today they have military, commercial, and recreational application. In 2020, Amazon robot company begins to mass produce robots for AI in warehouses. So this is the history which the changes that adopted by the robotics. So in the 2020, Amazon robots ha, have been introduced. So these are some pictures which shows the robotic types. In the first picture, robonaut and the human astronaut. Robonaut means the robot which is usually seen as a human, which is actually a prototype of human like robot. So these are called robonauts and human astronaut. Robonaut on rover. It is a rover which is travel from one place to another, which has the wheel. On this, a robonaut is sitting. So this is the structure like this. Human astronaut on arms. This is this is the human astronaut. This is this human-like structure. It is a robot. Dexter, it has several arms. It is fitted on this. It is called Dextre. Flight telescopic services. So these are the flight telescopic services. So these are the different type of robots which have been used in different type of industries, space, and other fields. There are three rules or law of the robotics. Asimov is the scientist proposed three laws of robotics. First law says a robot may not injure a human being. It means robot can't harm in any condition to the human being. Through inaction, allow human being to come to harm. So by the use of robot, there not be any injury any harm to the human being. So it is the first consideration while designing, while manufacturing the robot, that could not be uh, harm the human being. The second law says a robot must obey order given by to it by human being except where such order would conflict the first law. It says the, the robot obey the instruction given by the human being except that it could not conflict with the order first. It means it could not injure the harm or injure or harm the human being in any case. So law first couldn't be violated in any case. Third law says a robot must protect its own existence. Means the robot must be strength enough, must have a strength enough that could sustain itself. A robot must protect its own existence as long as such of protection does not conflict with the first law. Here also it would not be conflict with the first law. Robotics technology. Most industrial robots have at least five. The parts of robots is manipulator. Manipulator means hand. It is like a human hand. The arm of the robot is called the manipulator. Means arm. We have the arm body. It is same as the arm of the robot. It is resemble the human hand. It has a service joint like structure. And effector. And effector are used by the robot to interact with the environment. And effector means at the end of arm we attach the end effector. They vary according to the task given to robot. It depends on the task, which kind of work we have to do. According this end effector are selected. It perform the tasks that are performed by the palm, finger, and human hand. Sensors are very important part of robotics because sensors are used to gather information from surroundings. If camera is present, visual representation of surroundings can be seen. So these are the major part: manipulator and effector and sensors. Again, actuators. Inside the body of robot, a small motor is present. The moving parts, the power which is given to the actuators that can move the human hand. So actuator is an important part known as actuator. Robots moves in reflection to feedback from sensor with the help of controller. Control means it is a brain of the robot. Both the hardware and software are the controller of the robot. The controller controls the movement of the manipulator and the end effector. The final task is the power. Without power, there will be no movement in the robot. So power is also a main important part. The main source of power supply robot are the batteries and the photovoltaic cell. So power is also the part of robot. Type of robot. Robots are used in various sectors. Some of the important sectors they are used in. The first one is the industrial robots. Various work such as welding, material handling, improved productivity, inspection are carried out by the robot. There are various types of industrial robot: articulated, Cartesian, cylindrical, polar, Scara, Delta. So these are the type of industrial robots. Second is mobile robot. Mobile means moving. Robots that move around legs, track, and wheels. So these are called the mobile robots. There are type of robots that can even handle radioactive materials. So they can move around, they can touch, they can go up and down, horizontal, vertical. So these are the mobile educational robots. Robots that can use in education, they are able to bring schools to students who cannot be able to present physically. So these are the this type of work which is done. So this is educational, that called educational robot. Domestic robots, there are two types. One is perform household task and other one is modern. So that perform like talking, walking, etc. These are called the domestic robots. Cartesian robot. Cartesian robot have three linear movement. Cartesian means we have done x, y, z, the axis. So Cartesian robot have three linear axis of movement x, y, z. They are constructed of three Murchini orthogonal joints, which is L1, L2, L3, used for pick up and place task to move. It can move around the three axes. So this is called the Cartesian. Heavy loads also called gantry robot. So Cartesian robot is such type of. Cylindrical robot, it can cylindrical around. It do work around the some particular radius. So it is called the cylindrical. Cylindrical robot position is controlled by the variable L1 and an angle theta on the variable radius. Variable radius, angle theta, and the height. So it would be the particular height. See this figure. That has the particular height. This is the particular radius. And what the movement of this arms at what angle. So there are the three variable that can be controlled in this cylindrical robot. One is height L1, angle theta, and the variable radius. So these robots are commonly used in assembly tasks and can trace concentrate. So these are called the cylindrical robot. Cylindrical robots. Spherical robot. Spherical means it's three around. Spherical robot have two orthogonal rotational R axis with variable theta, theta 2, and a joint P. So it can move up, down, it's full rotational. So it is called the spherical. It is like that the spherical ball is moving. It is also a movement like that. So it is called the spherical movement. So next is coming robot parts. Robot parts. So if we talk about the parts, first one is base. It is called the base of the robot. Shoulder, it is called the shoulder. That part is called the shoulder. It is called this curved section is called the elbow. This is called the breast of a breast of a robot. Tool plate is attached here, and effector which is linked to this tool plate, and effector is according to the task what task they have to be performed by the robot. So these are the part of robot: base, shoulder, elbow, breast, tool plates, and effector. So technical robotics terms, the speed, so it is very accurate. Robots are very accurate. It can speed up the work. So speed is the amount of distance per unit time at which the robot can move, usually specified in. Second factor is the load bearing capacity. Load bearing capacity is the maximum weight carrying capacity of the robot, serial robot. है ना? The load capacity, speed, accuracy is the main criteria. Accuracy is the ability of robot to go the specified position without making a mistake. So it is called the accuracy, or robots are very accurate to work. Repeatability. Repeatability is the ability of a robot to repeat its position itself when asked to perform a task. Means it can repeat the work uh, timely, accordingly. Precision. Precision is the fineness with which a sensor can report a value. So these are the quality of the robotics that make it is useful to do any work. Accuracy, repeatability, speed, load bearing capacity, it is all accurate. So roles and jobs of a robot. A robot can be used in the computer assistant, manufacturing, military, medical, space exploration, personal. And most of the field the robot are working, and it is a demand of now become that the every industry is going to have the robot in its work. So in the computer assistant, CAM, military, medical, space, and personal, these are the fields where robots are working. So these are the computer assistant manufacturing which is used by the robot. Robot are manufactured part. Military. So these are the military aircraft which is also prepared, which are to manufacture with the help of robots. So in the medical, prosthetic limbs, pacemaker, dialysis, heart and monitors, blood pressure machine. These are all accessed through the medical. Advantage, we know all advantage, no human intervention, faster, precise and accurate. They can work throughout the day 24/7, so productivity increases. They can perform multitasking, so manpower gets reduced. They work in dangerous tasks, the risk of human health, and these are all disadvantage. The costly to build is a lack of emotion, and there is no emotion, so we have to protect himself from the robot. They're replacing human being in many. So unemployment is the main things that some disadvantages. They don't have to spot decision making ability. The spot mean that instantly they can not make decisions. So these are some future perspective of robotics. Many industries have started using robotic technology such as automotive, defense, pharmaceuticals, textile, atomic energy. So it is a time of robots, robotics, automation. So future is very bright in this field. So thank you very much, all of you. I think this lecture will help you to understand about the robotics. Thank you.